Hey guys, we're back again.
Why did you have to
Says
copy my
that.
whole thing? I was
That
like,
was the point, right?
where is this? I said, where is Jola going with this? Seriously, why is she doing this?
I had this
What's
in
the meaning
mind
of this?
already.
That's unfair. That's completely unfair. I'm not happy about this. I'm going to report you to HR.
Yeah, sure.
Imagine I
Well,
report you
welcome
to
back
HR
to
and
our
HR is you.
podcast. It's
Welcome
me,
back,
Abby.
guys.
Yeah,
Abby.
we'll take it on that advisement. But yeah, welcome back to our podcast. We are the usual host as usual, you know.
Uforo is here.
Uforo, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
How have you been? How's the week been for you?
It's been alright, I guess. Not bad.
It's been a bit.
And you?
It's been a bit warm here, in the sense, well, not so warm in every sense of it, but more like it's been better than other days. So
Okay,
that's a good thing.
that's fair. Cool. Weather has been the same here, just hot. So, you know, can't see
Sometimes,
anything.
yeah. Sometimes I miss that.
Yeah, those that are outside of it say that, you know, but it's all good.
I should even give a disclaimer to people. We're recording in the morning for the first time. We normally record in the evenings, so we
Yes.
decided to try something new. So it's either we're going to sound very uppity or we're going to sound dull, depending on who has drank their coffee. And
Oh,
who
you're now
hasn't.
putting it there and then making them look out for whether we sound uppity or dull or whatever.
Basically, I'm using reverse psychology to make sure that Jola is sounding uppity because she's aware.
Oh, whatever.
All right, Jola, do you want to jump into the headlines?
Yes. Okay, so I came across something about how video game developers have a particular struggle with putting doors in their games. I can't say I knew this before. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. Apparently, it's like a whole problem, a whole nightmare because, you know, doors push, players into areas. Like if you open a door, it's going to move the player or something, or someone else, or something else causes a door to move. It can push a player, or it can block your path, or, and we're talking about doors that are actually doors you open or close. So we're not talking about doors that are
loading
just
doors.
portals.
Yeah.
So there's some games. There are some games
screens.
like DMC, Devil May Cry. Yes, so you do it and it loads you into the next room or a place. This one is the type you open. So games like, Last of Us that are actually like you have doors you can open, you enter somewhere, or Uncharted or something. That's the one they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
It's difficult to do.
I can see the issue because if you think about it, someone needs to go from one room to another, and the rooms were created separately. So it's like, how do you stop the load time? And that door is in between, and you're not making it in like one sequence because that's that's an amount of coding that is going to be like crazy. So you need to cut from one place to the other without the loading time. So I can understand why, and that door has to interact between two, let's say if it's two different areas. So I can imagine how crazy
and
it would
with
be.
the character itself.
Exactly,
So it's like
and the character remaining
they
the
were
same.
also the same, and they mentioned even so you open a door, you go through a door. Then how do you deal with closing the door as well? Does the character have to close the door behind him? Do you make it automatic that the door closes slowly? Do you leave the door open? Does the door stay there so it stops other people, other NPCs, or other characters from entering? All those things go into it. And when I read it, I was like, oh, I actually never really thought about it like that before. Which is why you have a lot of games that the door is just
a portal. You don't open it.
Or
it's
you
just
load
open
it.
already.
Yes,
You just load
yes.
in, and you
Oh,
can
it's
understand.
open. Exactly.
You can understand that because I think sometimes, because I've heard some of these things before, maybe not necessarily the door, but some other things like this. And that's why, one of the episodes we did previously, I was like, it's a nightmare to be a game developer. So I didn't use the word nightmare, but I said it's difficult sometimes because it's not easy. So sometimes,
so specific.
it's
to
so
many
specific.
things.
And there are some
Yeah.
people like we might not be anal, like we might not be the types that play the game and notice some of these things and be like,
And
oh,
care.
this thing
Even
I'm
if you
going
notice, you
to.
don't care.
You don't care as much
Yeah,
because you're
but you have a lot of people
yeah,
that
but there are a lot of people that
nitpick.
they would come
Yeah.
on forums. They will, and maybe
Oh
some of
yeah.
them make their money from that as well. So it's not like it's a bad thing. But some of them come on forums, right? And you sat down in your house
And
or you
right.
went came
Yeah.
to work, and you spent 20 or
Hours
40
on
or
end,
30 or
nights.
100 hours trying to get the door to
Yeah.
open, and someone just comes and berates
Yeah.
it after passing it for just 1 second. Oh,
Imagine.
they
And
all
like it
need
doesn't
therapy.
matter. The game remains the same. Yeah, because the game remains the same. Gameplay, everything is still fun, but that little thing.
That
Because I
little
mean, you
thing.
see different bugs in games now. Maybe
Yeah.
the character falls down on the steps, and you
Yeah,
see that the
yeah.
body looks funny on the step. But it's fine. You pass by the body and you carry on. It's a little thing. It doesn't. It's not in your face
Yeah.
constantly. So
But
you
I
move on. It doesn't spoil the rest. You know.
but I guess people, should I use the word entitled, or entitled, not just feel entitled, but also entitled to berate you because they feel I'm spending 60
They
pounds
feel
or $60
yeah on
on
it.
this game. You can't
Yeah,
expect me to
yeah.
not, and then if you calculate all the
Not.
$60 around the world that are being collected, or pounds, you're
Yeah.
making money. Put it in. Get someone to do the
Of
work.
course. I get. But sometimes they should just chill a little bit. But I get what you mean that they are demanding like almost perfection from these
Mm,
guys, and it pushes them, I guess, to do better. But
yeah.
you know,
Hence why we have
you
Gamer
have to allow.
Awards.
There are always bugs. There are
No,
always
no, I'm just
bugs,
saying, hence why
even
we have
from the
Game
perfect
Awards,
game.
because someone has to do better
Oh,
than another
yeah.
person.
I guess, but those things are usually not even on the technical part of things, is it?
Mm.
The Game Awards is about the stories, about animation, it's about character design. Those are the major parts. You don't have least amount of bugs award
No,
kind of
but
thing, you know?
everything flows. Is also there are some Game Awards that best gameplay, all those things, and if you have bugs a lot, your gameplay is going to be tanked. So
No, fair enough. Yeah, well, see, that's where don't the bugs shouldn't affect the general gameplay and stuff. If it's those little things, which they can also iron out after the game has even been pushed out, right? With all
mm,
these
mm.
updates and stuff. Yeah, so give them the allowance to improve. This is a whole coding thing. You know, it's not so simple. It's not so cut and dry. So, but yeah, it was an interesting one anyway. My next headline is that Disney Plus wants to remove Peter Pan and Dumbo from any profile that is set up for kids on their platform because of the negative depictions from that story. So some of these cartoons have advisory content notices. So it's those types that they are removing from any profile that's for kids. Um, which is going to tie into some other things we're going to
We're going
talk
to discuss.
about
Yeah,
later. But
I didn't even know
yeah,
you were going to come up with this headline, and if I had known, I would have even said
I
interesting.
saw
So
it and I thought, ooh, it ties in, and I have to mention it. You know,
yeah,
so,
I'll leave my comments or my tangents or whatever I have to say
till later.
till
Yeah.
till
Me too.
later. Yeah, I don't
I
wanna
have.
I don't want to get
Yeah.
into it.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Um. Ele?
Sorry.
That means sorry for anybody that doesn't know.
And in my language is pay. I don't know why they both have to
Wait,
start with P,
interesting.
but I guess.
And what is it in Japanese? We might as well throw that in.
Komenasai, isn't it?
What is it? Gomenasai. Yeah, it's funny you can't say gomenasai without initially wanting to lighten your voice.
Yeah, but
Because
yeah,
you did it
because
as well, right? You
yeah,
went
exactly.
gomenasai.
Yeah, and for some reason I say ko, but it's go. I don't know why I do that.
Oh, really? You say kome? Really?
You didn't even catch
Oh,
it. So you sometimes you don't
I
catch
didn't
it.
catch it.
Yeah, exactly.
In my head, I was like gomenasai.
Yeah, it's Gomenasai. I don't know. I put an extra the go. I make it an extra C inside, but it's fine. That's just
Oh,
me.
okay, okay. Also, Disney Plus has surpassed 100 million subscribers in under 2 years, which is quite crazy.
That's intense.
You know,
That's intense.
indeed,
But you
100
know,
million guys.
but you know what?
What?
They did
What?
what I call the Nintendo Switch gameplay, the Nintendo Switch format, which is
Which is
it's attacking our childhood. Should I put it that way? It's
Oh,
everything
okay,
that,
okay.
it's like everything that, you would. Disney is a lot of our childhood, just like Nintendo is a lot of our childhood, like Mario's, the whole thing like
Absolutely.
that. And it's also very
Yeah.
kid friendly. So you would find that, like now, I subscribe to Disney Plus on and off, but it's not every time. So it's
Mm.
like when maybe I want to
Yeah.
watch something like Mandalorian that you've
Yeah.
still not watched, but we'll leave that for another day.
Whatever.
And
Okay.
and some of the other things. But you
Okay.
would find out that in most households where there are kids, Disney Plus is
You
subscribed.
would have that. Yeah, because you have
Also,
hours on end of trying to entertain your kid.
exactly, and
Yeah.
also in a lot of households where there are kids, you find Nintendo Switches. I mean, or Nintendo Switches. So, or you Nintendo
Yeah.
games. So it's that
Yeah.
kid factor. So this is why they would beat
Definitely.
other people easily because we have all the kids
Mm-hmm.
programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good for them. Good on them. Um, you have Borderlands, the movie, which we've mentioned in one of our headlines before, but now they are also adding the actor from Creed 2. If anyone has seen Creed 2,
Hmm.
his name is Florian Montiano. I'm not sure. The guy who acted as Victor Krieg, that
Hmm.
was that guy's son from the old
The
Rocky
big guy.
movies. Yeah, I can't remember his name now. Dolph Lundgren's character. I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
what his
yeah.
name was. Yeah. So he's joining the cast of Borderlands along with the others mentioned before: Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, Kevin
I
Hart,
didn't even realize
Albert.
Jack Black was on there,
What's it?
but
I didn't realize him as well. I saw that, and that's
but
why I
that's
mentioned it
they
specifically.
they
I didn't know he
definitely
was there.
yeah, they definitely saw the relationship between Jack Black and Kevin Hart on Jumanji. And I'm sure
On
this is
what?
going to have a
Oh,
Jumanji feel to it.
Jumanji.
Yeah, this is going to have a Jumanji feel to it.
Right,
Like, that kind
right,
of game, funny, you know,
right.
weird,
Yeah.
some other things.
I
Yeah,
mean, Kevin Hart
definitely.
is there, so
Mhm.
definitely. Absolutely. Okay, so on to you.
Oh, yeah.
Although this is a funny one for you to take. So
Yeah, yeah.
go
But,
on.
but do you know why I took it? Because I like Powerpuff Girls.
Why?
I've always liked it. So
Yay!
I have
I'm
no
proud
problem
of
with
you
that.
because
I'm
sometimes you like to do like, what am I watching this
huge
for?
fan of
So
Powerpuff Girls,
I'm
and I'm proud
clapping
to
for
say
you.
it. Huge fan. Huge
Yeah,
fan.
I'm proud. I'm proud
Please
of you for
clap.
doing that.
Clap
Good,
louder.
good. Oh, oh, I
That's
was
what.
giving you a little one, but
No,
you
no,
want
no,
it
no, 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 no,
louder.
no.
Okay,
I
okay,
want them to hear you clap. Anyways, so
okay.
CW is in the works for a live action Powerpuff Girls. I'm worried at the same time because of
So am I. First of all, it's
it's
CW.
Powerpuff Girls. I mean CW first of all. Secondly, it's Powerpuff Girls. I don't know how you can capture their essence.
Yes,
I feel like if you
I
give
don't
me
know either.
a real
Yeah.
human being Powerpuff Girls, I would not be
Uh
happy with
huh.
that. I don't want that. I want them to have no fingers.
Yeah, they should just. You want them to have no fingers. Oh my! That
Papa,
was gonna be a horror show. That was gonna be a
Pop,
horror show.
but Powerpuff Girls don't
They
have
have to make
fingers.
them look. I know they don't, and they have giant bug-like eyes as well. But that's not
Exactly.
gonna work. That's
I
not gonna
think
work.
I think
They're
they,
going to have to make them look like regular people, but with powers. That's just
oh,
it.
that's just going to just look. It's going to look too
You know
creepy
what
for
my
me
worry is?
because they're going to
It's
go be
going
in
to
high
be. I'm.
school.
I'm.
They are going to be liking boys. It's a
I
lot
don't
of
think
things
it's
that
high
I don't.
school.
Oh, where would they be? In
I
children's
don't think
school.
it's high school. They're, well, see now, from what I also came across, it's supposed to be that they're like 20-something-year-olds.
Oh,
So they're after that point. They are going. They have like some resentment on the fact that their childhood was all superhero fighting crime, and they didn't have a childhood per se. So they're kind of awkward people in society now. And then there's a new
yeah.
threat. They kind of have to get back to working together and dealing with their issues and their baggage. But they're a little like,
Is the professor
weird
dead?
as adults. They didn't mention anything about the professor.
I feel the professor will be
And the
dead.
professor might just be their dad here, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
he is dead as
I
well.
feel
And
I
that
feel
also
like
made things
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
You know what? It feels DC to me. I know it's not, but it just feels DC to me. It
Yeah,
feels DC like
that's
one
what
of
I'm
those things
saying.
that they're
Like,
going to spoil for me. And when I mean,
yeah, I know.
just coming off the
Aside from
go on, sorry.
coming off the word,
I'll say coming off
finish your
the
sentence.
our trash pile episode. Or rather, it wasn't called that. We
Yeah.
cancelled that name. Anyways,
Oh yeah, mini
coming
skirmish.
mini skirmish. Yeah, coming off that episode, you see how like obviously I might watch it. I'm not even going to say I would, because I don't know how I feel until I see the trailer. I might watch it based on the fact that it's Powerpuff Girls. I mean, and I liked Powerpuff Girls. I can say a lot of things. I mean, for some reason, Bubbles was my favorite character. I do not know why, but
The opposite of you. If you guys knew this guy, right? Bubbles is like the opposite.
should I?
You know where you have someone that is like a big guy who likes very small dogs. That's what it'll be like.
No, Bubbles is my favorite character because she's low-key local. Why I say that is that
Yeah.
what's her name? The green one. What's the green one's name? You see, that's why I can
Buttercup.
remember. But Buttercup, yeah, Buttercup obviously is the most mannish character, and is the one
The
that is like
tomboy one.
the
Yeah.
tomboy. She's the one that
Mhm.
always shows strength. She feels like
The
a
ass kicker.
she feels like Donatello. I think it's Donatello in Ninja
Ninja
Turtles, the
Turtles.
guy with the red band. She feels like that type
Right.
that is always
Right.
trying to. He's not the leader, but always tries to prove
No.
themselves. Always tries to be the best.
Mm.
You know, I'm the strongest. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. Obviously, the
Mm.
other one, what's her name? The red one, um,
Blossom.
Blossom. Yeah. If I start saying the whole intro, I'll remember their names because I can say the
You
intro properly.
remember?
But
Oh, will you do us a favor and sing
no,
it?
no.
I knew you were gonna say no.
You're not gonna get that from me. Anyways, Blossom obviously is the most balanced out of them, and I obviously she's the leader.
She's the world round leader.
She's the leader. She's like that Red Ranger. She's balanced. She's this, and funny enough, her color is also red. So she's just she's that one that takes things very well, takes
So-
decisions, does it.
so
But
what's-
Bubbles
What's
is
Bubbles?
Bubbles for me
Say the line.
is
say the line,
this
Say the line.
no Bubbles for me.
Say the line. Bubbles is what? What is she? She's the joy and what? Or you don't remember?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I
You?
told you I have to start from beginning to remember everything. I have to start from the beginning. I don't remember it on the
Okay.
spot. You have to. Yeah, I have to start from the beginning, from the Professor
She's the
X.
joy and the
Or what? That's
laughter.
not Professor X. What's his name? Professor hitting the thing, hitting the X
Yeah.
something. Yeah, hitting the X thing. Then
Yeah,
I have to
chemical
start the
X.
whole chemical X exactly. Going there, and I'll get to
Okay.
Blossom, Bubbles,
get it.
Buttercup, and go continue like that.
Yay! We got something! Yay!
Yeah, I'll just give you that little bit. But anyway, but you know
Okay.
what? For me, Bubbles is low key loco. That's what I call her because I feel she's the strongest.
She has moments where she shouts.
She's the
and
strongest.
She's just timid.
But she's
and kind.
timid and kind, but she's the strongest. I believe, and that's why I liked her the most because like when you step on her toes, nobody like
She
she's
gets
going
red
to
and
she's going to mess everything. So I think she's going to be the one. Like I feel like when they do the live action, whatever, she will be the most twisted. Though it would be it will be Buttercup that it will be shown more of, like because she'll still have that tomboy thing. Buttercup maybe might be dating a girl. They might make her do those things. I don't know. I just feel like they will really play on that character of the tomboy.
But
the
that
whole
might
thing.
then be doing the stereotypes if they do that she's dating a girl.
They might do it, but
stereotype. Can she
it
be
might-
a tomboy without her being?
I mean, she definitely can be, and if they don't play to the stereotypes, I'll be very happy because that's something. But this
Me
world
too,
that we're
'cause I
this
don't think
world
she needs to be gay.
this
to
but
be
this world that we're
tomboy.
in, they always play to
Yeah.
the stereotypes, and why they do that is because maybe they need to cater to everyone. They need to make everyone feel included and everything. And I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to say sometimes playing to the stereotypes sometimes is also the problem. So but that's a whole conversation
Fair
for another
enough.
day. Because if you don't play
Okay.
to the stereotypes, if you make someone else, maybe make Bubbles or make even Buttercup to another person, like maybe the gay one or something, that would be shocking to us. But if you go with Blossom, sorry.
The
But if you go with
expected
Buttercup,
one.
if you go with the expected one, it's like okay, yeah, makes sense. But then it's like we are playing to the whole thing that is a tomboy must be this way.
Yes,
Which is-
exactly. I
which
think
is-
it's a catch-22. You
Yeah.
can't like lose either way.
But not to go.
Okay,
But
we'll
that's
see.
why I like Blossom. She's local. But anyways, moving on.
You mean
Becau-
Bubbles?
Bubbles. Sorry, they are so BB. You just I just get tongue
Yeah,
tied.
they're all bees, but
You get
yeah.
tongue tied.
Anyway, I'm just not good with the names either. To be
Yeah,
honest, we've
I'm never.
established this.
I'm not. There's. I'll
You just
I'll
have
cast.
me
I'll
to
cast
help
my.
you out.
I'll cast myself here. Now, this is just a little tangent for people to know a little bit about me. Names. I am awful with names. but I
Mm-hmm.
remember
They know.
everything. But I am awful with names.
Hmm.
Funny enough, and
Mm.
okay, when I was in university, just a little story. When I was in university, went to this house party with a friend of mine, met a few people there, and then there was this girl I we ended up talking a little bit, like just having a conversation. She told me her name.
Mhm.
I remember I said, this thing. But the problem with me is that names, the moment you tell me, I forget like in the next 3 seconds, it's gone completely. I do not know why.
Yeah.
My partner complains
Okay.
about it. I have to even ask, I say, please, what's the name of that person again? Or what did that person's name is? I forget completely. Now, I would say this like 2, 3 months later to stay on the story. I saw this girl walking, and I think walking somewhere, and I stopped and I said, hey, how are you doing? And she looked at me, I was like she was trying to remember me. And I said, oh yeah, we met at the house party. You were wearing a red hoodie. You did. I narrated everything, even the things we spoke about. But I said, I swear I can't remember your name. She started laughing. Because in her head, it's like, how do you remember
All that, but not my name. Simply
how
my
do you
name. Can you
remember everything, but you don't remember my name? And I'm like,
imagine?
funny enough, I used to tell people, if you save your name in my phone, like if I save your number, even if I never open it, but the moment I don't know where how my phone is connected to my brain, I don't know. But the moment I save your name, like I just put Jola, put your phone number, I would never need to open that phone or look or retrieve, but I would never forget the name. But if I didn't do that, I have to constantly remind
Mm.
myself that your name is this.
The,
But I'll remember everything,
oh,
remember our conversations, remember what you wore, remember what you put on your face, even in the smallest. I'll give you all the details, but your name, I won't remember it.
you're a weirdo now.
Weirdo. And that's why I always struggle with names on the podcast. At least people now know why.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. And that's why I'm just always there when you're saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, this." I'm like, "Okay, this.
That's why you
So the
see,
name is."
have you not noticed? Anytime I'm trying to remember the name, I will describe everything that's about the whole thing, but the name is the problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving to the
Okay.
next one, which
Yep.
is woo, my guys, my Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alabama means my guys or my friend in is Igbo. Anyways,
Okay.
Microsoft acquires Bethesda, which so a lot of future games will be exclusives on that Microsoft and that's Xbox and PC. Now, this
Yeah.
is Microsoft's play. It has been the play for the last couple of years. All they what they've been doing is acquiring studios and
Mm. So that they have whatever over those
exclusives,
games
and
to make it
the
exclusive or
Sony
whatnot.
fan people hate it completely. It's pissing them off. It's causing rages online. It's like it's one of the huge things of this class. Some of them act like they don't care. They come and say, "Oh yeah, what does?" But then if you ever go and see the whole thing, you now see some people write, "Well, Bethesda gave you this. Just say you're paid," but it plays into the whole versus.
Yeah, I mean the whole rivalry, of course,
Yeah,
of
it's
course. It's
one
the
of
same
those
way
things.
they'll come and drop one thing on one side. Now you guys will come and drop. Well, we have this. Like you tell me, oh, Game Pass, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. All that stuff. It's it's the constant rivalry
It's
between these
constant.
two major consoles.
Should I tell you something?
But yeah,
I've always
but
felt the kind of way. I want the day, and I know it's never happen, but I want the day in future where there will
that
just
two
be
come
one,
together.
will just be an ultimate console, and let's forget about this thing and just enjoy games. Do you know how life
That
would
would
be?
be the day.
That would be
It'll
the
never happen,
day.
as you said, but yeah, that would be the day. That
I
would be the
mean,
day for sure.
let me
Everything in
just
one
play
place.
game. Let me just play game. That's it. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Netflix, Amazon, Disney, all of them. Let me just watch TV. Let me just play game. Charge me whatever you want to charge me. That's fine. Let me just
Mm,
enjoy my life and entertain myself.
mm, mm.
You guys can all
Well,
share the
we shall
money. I
see.
mean, because at the end of the day, we're all going to purchase it. No, think about it. I will still spend
Yes,
sixty
we
pound
are.
on the
Oh
game. You
yeah.
still spend $60 on the game. So either ways, we are
Yes.
still going to buy games. We are still going to buy consoles. So either ways, I would either buy an Xbox or buy a PS4, and you would buy one or the other. I mean, I know there are people that buy the both, but let's be honest. we are
Yes.
really playing one. And anybody, some people buy multiple iPhones just to do, especially those people that test out things, or multiple Samsungs. So at the end of the day, we
Yes.
will always buy. So you can do a smaller version for cheap, a cheaper version, should I say, and a more expensive, one, which they're already doing. But let's just play game.
Mm.
That's my
But
stance.
how do you merge
Never
the
going to
two?
happen.
The two styles are quite different at the moment.
I mean, if you
Xbox,
see,
PS, they are quite
if someone decides to merge the two, and I'm not someone, if they decide to merge the two, they will create a console that can handle
they'll
the
create
two.
one that feeds to
Yes,
both.
and
Yeah,
then
I
you can,
agree. But
and then
people will just need to adjust. They would
and
need
then
to
no,
keep
what I'm
them
trying to say is that you
competitive.
can even allow people like to have multiple kinds of pads. Like I can have a Xbox type of pad. You can have a
Style pad, yes.
PS5
True.
style pad or Sony style
So it
pad,
will
and then
cater to what you are looking for. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
At least let's play game. Let's unify the world. All these differences is what our problem is in this world. But let me not go into my whole humanity, my whole
Heal the
humanity
world
vibe.
one game at a
Yeah,
time.
you know what? You know? Oh, you don't even know.
Very nice.
Anyways, and this, funny enough, ties
Yeah.
into the topic, but this is not what the topic is about. But I'm just saying.
Yes.
So,
Okay. So the last one, go on.
the last one is is a funny one. I actually saw it and I started laughing.
It is a fun.
A fugitive, sorry, went to go and buy Call of Duty during the lockdown, and that's how he was captured or
Can you
recaptured.
imagine?
Can you
On top
imagine?
game.
Why
You're
don't you
recaptured.
just download it
Yeah.
pay it for it
And
on
even
your console?
on the news,
Download
they're
it.
like, dude, why didn't you just do digital? Yeah, but you actually came out during lockdown time to buy this game. They're going to catch you, like, but it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing.
It's a funny
So,
thing.
yeah.
It's a very
So
funny thing. It's like, come on, seriously. Let's do better. Do better. But anyways, it's good. At least they caught him.
yeah, at
So
least they caught him.
so now let's jump
But
into
he's
this.
I
Okay, no, go on.
I,
Sorry, go on.
I
Sorry.
feel like I'm sorry, real quick. I feel like I don't know what his offense was, why he was imprisoned in the first place, but clearly it wasn't for murder because the headline would have been murder, fugitive or whatever, caught, blah blah blah. But they didn't mention.
We
They
didn't put more
did
than
maybe, but
fugitive.
it wasn't the main part.
I
I
think
think
the
if
whole
it was a scary person, it would have been a bigger part of the story than because of Call of Duty. It seems more humorous, like it's Call of Duty, and that's why they caught this guy. I'm
Yeah.
not saying what he did is negligible. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying for some reason it must not have been murder or rape or something.
we
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
trying to say.
We don't know. I'm
don't
just
know
saying
for sure.
this.
And that's what I'm saying.
These news people know how to just put the headlines that make it more clickable.
Clickbait.
Yeah,
You're right.
so
You're right.
we don't know. Anyways,
Mm.
now before I jump into the main content, I have a disclaimer. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the past few episodes, Jola has sounded louder than I have. And not just Jola sounded louder than I have. Like she sounds like she's literally shouting on me, and I'm just sitting down in a corner crying.
Yeah, it's been irking me as well. Like when we're doing like all the background stuff on it, and I've been like, oh, I just sound so freaking loud. My gosh, I'm like telling like,
And
But, yeah.
hands in the air. These are the problems that come with remote recording. So you're trying to find the balance. You're trying to. Woo, funny enough.
yeah.
Cute, cool. That's
Oh
the thing.
yeah, nice.
I don't know how this
Ahead
is
to the
happening.
title. They
I
would know.
don't even know how it's happening. It just happened. I'm like, what's going on here?
Nicely done.
Well, anyways, I guess we found our
Yeah,
teaser.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Anyways, I'm not going to say
yeah,
it
we've
again.
been trying to.
I'm not going to say it again just so that I don't play too much on it. But anyways, we've been trying to whatever and just
Figure
going
it out.
to figure it out and trying different things. So for some reason, it just happened that all of a sudden, the last few episodes, it just changed. The same platform we're using, and it just decided to just switch on us, and we don't know why. But I think we found something here. We are not going to jump and say we found something, but I think we have. We hope we tested it out.
Yeah.
We spent a long time testing it out this morning. Sounding good so far. We hope it comes out good when we
far.
actually post it.
Finish it up and put it up. Yeah.
Because that's going
So
to be the
fingers
problem.
crossed. Fingers crossed this should be much better. And no one sounds like they're shouting on the other person.
Yeah.
And it'll be much clearer than it's been.
And if you
Fingers
meet
crossed.
myself and Jola, and if you know both of us, and if you can try and picture her shouting on me, that's going to be the funniest thing.
It's not possible, man.
It's possible. It's possible. Big guys get bullied too.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, anyways.
Yeah, we just needed to say that so you guys would know.
And we apologize and for anybody's ears that suffered. Anyways, main content. So, I came in. I wrote this because I was kind of responsible for this particular episode. Normally, Jola does a lot of it, and we mix in depending on what's going on. But this particular episode, I felt like I wanted to discuss it. But funny enough, it took a whole tangent 2 days ago, and this was not what I came in for. It was meant to be the most casual episode ever. What I'm trying to say, like, I felt
and then it became something.
It became so serious. I felt like we've been, hitting different topics back to back, like crazy, spending time on it, diving in, dissecting whatever it is, laughing, doing this. So I felt like, let's hit the brakes a little bit. Let's have a little bit of a casual one. Nothing too serious, nothing too much. I mean, the most serious thing that was supposed to be in this episode was the headlines, but it was just meant to be a conversation. And the conversation was meant to be, how do you balance your life with... How do you balance your life with watching entertainment and, whether it's animes, there's so much to watch, which we'll still dive into for a second. But over time, something happened. And that's in the last few days, something has happened. And Jola even mentioned a little bit of it in the headlines. What happened?
Yeah.
There was a tweet that came out. Okay, first of all, Space Time 3 is coming out. We spoke about that in the previous episode. Pepe Le Pew is a Looney Tunes character that was in Space Jams 1, and he's been there for time. Now, someone wrote an article, I think, on New York Times or something like that. I'm not sure what of the New York ones, but I apologize for that. But the article was basically how Pepe Le Pew promoted this rape culture, and it's not good for kids.
If you remember Pepe Le Pew, it's that, just in case anyone doesn't quite remember, it's that skunk that's always like, he's French, and he's always like saying sweet nothings to this cat, and always grabbing her and kissing her, and then saying, no, this, saying this and that.
Not funny, but it's the way you do
and
the
like he's always... I know, because I'm like picturing it in my head. It just came out. I had to do it. So he's like always holding her and doing that, kissing her hand, her leg. If she's trying to get away, he's like holding her and chasing her. And she's like, it's that kind of thing where it's like, oh my God, guy, just leave me alone kind of thing. So that's why this person is saying is promoting rape culture, because she's kind of saying no most of the time.
She's not giving consent.
Doesn't actually have any lines. And she doesn't have any lines. She's usually quiet. She just tries to get away.
Which is
constantly chasing her.
Most of the cartoons back then, they don't normally talk.
Tunes, they
it's
don't
only
talk much,
whether Tom and Jerry as well, they don't talk. So it's not one of those speaking things. Now, Pepe Le Pew has been cut from Space Jam 2. Now, what the person wrote, I do not disagree with it. I'm coming here to not say I disagree with it, but I'm thinking we're obviously in this, and this is where my question comes in. We're in this woke generation. Where what I mean by woke generation is now that everybody is looking at things with a different eye. We're looking at things with a fine-tooth comb. We're looking at things trying to, look at everything and say, what was wrong about this? This is wrong. Let's cut it out. We're in a very, very huge PC world. Like, this doesn't speak well about this. This promoted this. And when someone points that out to you, you see it. You can understand it. You can say, Pepe Le Pew, yes, that was rapey.
This is problematic. Even though back then all you saw was some guy just chasing a girl and you are like, oh, that's funny. It
I've
wasn't meant to be something. Go
exactly.
on.
I've not done any research. I haven't done any research. When I mean I've not done research, I don't know whether there are any boys or even girls or boys that watch that cartoon because I watched it. I actually did not mind watching Pepe. It
Yes,
was
so
a
did I.
funny thing to me. But and I was always I
Me
didn't
too.
even like the character because he stunk. So that was one of the things I didn't like the character. But I always I always found it funny and
Yeah.
everything, especially his French accent.
Yes.
And but I never had it
Yes.
never impacted me to feel like
In any
I
way.
want to do anything
That
or
this is
change
how.
or this is how I have to be because I did not associate myself
Mm,
as a skunk, and I don't feel like
exactly. So
and I
you
don't
don't. It has nothing to do with real life or
exactly, and I don't
anything,
feel like a lot
any
of
real life application.
exactly, and I don't feel because I'm not trying to be attracted to a cat or chase a cat.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Or
So
model your life according to a
so
skunk.
it never applied to me in that sense that oh I felt like it was teaching me that it never taught me anything like that,
Mm,
and I want to take this a
mm-hmm.
step further, and that's where my question is. You know, we say this would affect or this affected, so we should cancel it now become a cancel
Mm-hmm.
culture.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, but are we looking at the same using the same energy for every other thing? Because we need to understand that if we look at everything back then, they are all wrong for kids. Tom and Jerry is all about
Yeah.
violence, like it or not, violence.
Because
What
they're
cartoon?
smacking each
They
other
are
in the
smacking
head
each
with all
other.
sorts
They
of
are
things.
dropping. They are doing different things. They are dropping things on the floor. You're stepping into pins.
Mm,
You're doing this. But I don't remember
mm,
me going to go and drop pins on the floor for my brothers or anybody I was playing with or
mm-hmm.
do certain things like that. I didn't because I didn't see my
Setting
anybody
traps
as
for
a
them and
I didn't see
yeah.
myself as a cat or a rat to do that. Now I would
Yeah.
if you look across almost every, I mean, it's only a few cartoons that are not like that, maybe even more cartoons recently.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at cartoons
Mm-hmm.
back then, a lot of them they show all the negatives, whether it's violence, whether it's theft, whether it's stealing, whether it's lying.
Mm,
This one now they say rape. What is it that is not being shown? And that is specifically for children. It's not an adult cartoon. It's specific for children.
mm-hmm.
Are we going to cancel everything? Because we cannot say, oh, this is raping, let's just cancel this one because someone feels that way, which is fine. And then we will not look at the rest that can affect children the same way because violence is not good in children. Stealing, all the things I mentioned, not good either. So what
Of course.
so how much can we go back? How much do we go back? And what are we canceling? Should we cancel everybody's childhood because of this? I don't know. I'm trying to understand where the what where because I don't feel you can your energy has to go across. Like I don't feel you should just draw the line up and say this is where I stop
Hmm.
when the rest is still like that. And I don't feel
True.
number one, I'm not for canceling all those things and saying we should cancel them. I don't feel that way because I don't feel it affected me that way. I don't know if it affected anybody like that, but I'm losing myself as a well-rounded individual, and I'm using you as well as at
Mm.
least a well-rounded individual to kind of judge across and feel like did everyone see themselves as a cat or a skunk or all these things and feel like they should do those things that they watched? Did we feel that way?
Okay. Now, okay. Now, let me. I mentioned this to a friend of mine, and so he said something like, "Well, another thing is, with us growing up back then, we're in a world now that's a lot more well, not social. I mean, like everything is online, social media, blah blah blah. Everything is
Mm-hmm.
watching something, and whether we like it or not, there's a bit less of going to play outside. Not that you don't play outside, but back in the day, it was mostly playing outside and not so much um, everything being online. So he was kind of trying to say the way we grew up then and the way kids grow up now. It's like if you are watching this and you go online to find more stuff on Pepe Le Pew or something like that, it can easily lead you to things that are worse, if that makes sense, as opposed to before where you would simply have seen Pepe Le Pew in that context and seen Pepe Le Pew in that context only. That's all.
Mm.
Just
That
some
that that
guy, just
that
some skunk chasing another cat or cat that looks like a skunk, whatever.
That makes a
And
lot of
then
sense. That makes a lot of sense. Funny enough,
yes,
I can
and the
agree with
other
that. Go on. Sorry.
yes, oh, I did the other part was skipped. Sorry, what were you gonna say? I'm hoping it comes to me
Okay, let me
in
say.
the
I'll say I
background.
can agree with that because now we have a lot of easy association, and I think that's a very very good point, in the sense that you can.
Yeah. Oh, I remember now. Go on.
Do you want to say
You
before
can
you forget?
you can lead. Okay. Yeah. The other thing he said was that oh my, why is it flying out of my head
Should I
again?
continue now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. Now I have it. I
Okay,
have it.
you're
So
back.
the other thing he said, yeah. The other thing he said is that you can have them watch it, which is fine. But then again, because of how we are in this world of today, is that it will raise questions and conversations. Now, if you show Pepe Le Pew, and because of the world we live in today, you want to deal with it like, okay, let my child still watch this good cartoon I watched as a kid. Well, good, you know what I mean by good. But then you have to have the conversation of explaining that because you're watching this doesn't mean this is okay. Don't relate with anybody this way, or that you start have to explain
Okay, okay.
some more adult things.
No,
Not
no,
every
no.
sorry, hold on.
No.
Not everybody may be ready to have that
The conversation
conversation
with their
yet
child. Yeah.
with their kids.
Wait, I have
Yes.
something. I have something to add to that. This is how I feel. Now, I don't necessarily. I understand what the person is saying about, and I agree with your friend completely. He actually hit the nail on the head,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's not. We grew up differently, and this time they grew up differently. A 1 year old,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a 2 year old already, probably even a 1 year old knows how to use a phone, and can do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Can actually, so 2 year olds can
Mm-hmm.
browse, can do such. So if they watch something, they can
Absolutely.
easily come and what's name and search online and then go from there. And before you know it, who knows, they can even end up on porn sites. I'm just saying that the
Exactly.
rabbit
Yeah, yeah,
hole,
yeah. I
the
get.
you the rabbit hole, sorry, it's just that you just be going pa
Yeah.
pa 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 before you know it, you're watching something you shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be watching. Somebody in a Pepe Le Pew costume chasing somebody. I'm just trying to say, like,
Mm-hmm.
people create
Yes.
sick things in the world, and just
Absolutely.
I mean, just to continue some certain things. Now, I completely agree with that. So I understand from that point of view, and that makes a lot of sense. I think what my the thing is saying, the person that wrote the article, when I read some tits or some little bit about it, and the person kind of said, it promoted. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel
Yeah, like it happened already.
like
Like it
that's the past, like
contributed to
this is
all
what
the
you
stuff happening.
understand now. If
Mm.
it is, I how I look at this woke generation, or this woke culture, this cancel culture from now, I want us to attack things
Mm.
from now. I'm not trying to say if there are things that were wrong with the past, I'm not saying don't correct it. I'm not saying, like, if some guy was a child, somebody, a child, like, God forbid, I don't know, let's just say
Molested.
something like Barney now, for example, turned out to be a molester.
Okay.
I'm not. He should be
Yeah.
arrested. You know, that kind of thing. The person that, or
Absolutely.
whoever was inside there, you should attack it. You should do all those things.
Of course. Of course.
Now, I think we have to now. What I'm trying to say is that we have to understand how the past was different, a different time, and how we now model the
Mm.
future. So how I'm thinking is that if Pepe Le Pew was like this, and we are seeing it now, based on how we feel now, how your friend has explained it, that okay, you can go from there to dive into other places. Meanwhile, in the past, we would have just watched it as a cartoon and then gone out to play.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do
Mm-hmm.
from now? Saying it did that in the past, I feel it feels wrong. Saying it will do that now would be right. Do you understand what I'm
We're
trying
right
to say?
because we are in that
We're in the
no,
time
not
now.
culture. We have more now. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So
Yes.
if now writing that as a conversation and saying Pepe Le Pew now, I mean, and being able to despair and say would promote this based on this, a lot of people can now, like, a lot of people, especially our age mates that enjoy Pepe Le Pew as a child, can look at that
Mm-hmm.
now and be like, oh, this guy is speaking facts. This makes sense because my child.
Yeah.
I don't want my child to see this, get confused, for an example, or not get confused, or try and understand more. I'm not watching them with their phone. I don't know what they're always doing, and then they go into a whole
Mm-hmm.
different experience, and they learn things they're not supposed to learn
Mm-hmm.
based on just searching one word. and that word
Exactly.
leads them somewhere else. Meanwhile, back then we wouldn't have been able to go through all that
You
whole
would have
search.
been able. Yeah. It would
Exactly.
just have been Pepe Le
So
Pew. That's it.
exactly. So I think that is what needs to happen. I think it needs to be a proper, not a good education, and not just a destruction, because it feels like a lot of times it feels like the past is being destroyed, is being nuked. We are nuking it
Being
completely and saying,
destroyed. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
none of us, the person that probably wrote it didn't have the intention. The person that we watching it never
Yeah.
felt like that. So it feels like
Yeah.
we understand when you say it, we can see it now, but we couldn't see it then. I still don't never saw it then. I can see it now, but I can't see it then.
Never did.
So it's
Yes.
like it's
Yes.
like let's
Yes.
not nuke the then. Let's focus on the now.
Yeah.
Let's not go to the
On
past
the
and
now.
start destroying everything that and saying this is what it is, unless it is absolutely wrong. Don't get me wrong, but let's not nuke it and say let's see how we can be better now, and that's where I stand. Now I want to say something. Who creates cartoons? Who created cartoons?
Adults.
Adults. An adult
Yeah.
has experienced life in different senses, whether it's sex, whether it's smoking, whether it's certain things. I mean, Tom and Jerry used to smoke. Never many cartoons smoke. Do you understand? There are so many bad
Yes, they do.
behaviors of this thing. They even
Yes.
used to get high. There's that Indian thing. They used to pass the whole thing between each other and be getting high. It happened in many, many cartoons.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. It's just not people
Yeah. But
remembering,
then the
but
kids weren't meant to watch it and
and
think
feel
I
like
want
they
to
want to
do
go
it.
and
It was
smoke weed
just
or smoke
supposed to
this
be.
or smoke another
Yeah.
kind of drug. So it's like
Because they weren't
how
meant to look at it that way. They meant to have just
exactly.
seen, oh, what is this? And
So my
yeah, I feel you.
so what I'm saying is that we need to like it's like okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Like it's adults that make this thing now. Subconsciously, a lot of adults put things without realizing that is sexual in nature. Is this nature because that's how your brain has tried to.
Mm,
Your brain is imaginative, so your brain can carry your experiences and now create something that is supposed to be a fun cartoon, but then
absolutely.
it ends up being like okay, it's a little bit sexual
Something
in
wrong.
nature. It might be this
And
thing,
that's
and
because we
then
are looking at it with
and that's
adult
because we are
eyes
looking at
and
it with adult.
minds.
I say we can see, but a child would not see that. So it's like,
Yeah.
do we tell children to make cartoons? But then the cartoons would not make any sense.
Yes. Obviously, I mean, you can't do that quite yet.
So I
You
don't
can't
know,
do
you know.
that. You can only try to put yourself in their position and
So
make it based on that. But I mean,
so how do you balance a human being and a fully grown adult's experiences to engineer into a child's experience that what is going to experience and
experience.
not because if we want to look at everything, even cartoons now that are being made, unless they are purely educational, which
Yeah.
a lot of cartoons are educational, and the only way they can be educational is for an adult to be able to figure out how to put in the education in there so that the child will learn in a fun manner. So an adult still has to do that. But now if you're going from not educational cartoons to like just regular cartoons, and most of these cartoons they end up having some kind of small education. Most of them, not all of them.
Mhm.
How do we find the balance? How do we let the person create? But
Well, that's why. Sorry, but what?
no, I said how do you let the person create but is able
Yeah.
to still entertain a child, and let's not
Entertain.
look at it in a way that they've promoted whatever. Because I'm trying to say, if we use PCIs to look at everything, we can find problems in every
Find
single
a
thing.
problem in everything.
Every single thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get what you mean. Now, that's why I said the other point was okay, you're going to have to, if you have your kids watching whatever they're watching, and you're just going to have to deal with and be ready to have conversations with them bit by bit. Aspects of it they may not be ready for, yes, but you start explaining it to them on the most elementary level, and then you build from there. You may not be ready, as my friend was saying. Maybe you're not ready to have this conversation with your kids, but you can't always be ready for things before they come to you.
Now,
But you just have to start somewhere and start explaining and setting
no,
them
but
on what is hopefully the right path.
what if your explanation is the eye opener? Because that happens a lot, in the sense that
It does happen a lot.
a child never sees
But
those things. I'm not trying to say you
No,
shouldn't
but when they
explain.
come to ask you,
No, if they didn't.
problem
No.
is if you don't. Oh,
No,
that's what I mean.
no,
When they
that's
start
okay.
getting curious, you can notice that they're
Okay.
starting to
No,
get
okay,
curious.
that makes
So
sense.
you watch them. No, I don't mean explain when they've not asked, when they've not nothing. No, I mean when they're watching, you keep an eye on them too. So when you see that they start questioning things or copying what they see sometimes, then you know you have to start fashioning what they're doing in a way and explaining, oh, don't do this little bit, bit, and then guide it that way. Because the problem is if they are already starting to ask and you don't yet speak to
No,
them,
that's
they will
no,
ask
that's
somebody else.
yeah, that's a
Or they'll
definite.
look
That's a
somewhere
definite.
else. And yes, they will look
No,
somewhere else or ask someone else, and then what they get there, you can't police the answers they get from
No, you
somewhere else.
definitely have to. You definitely have to explain if they ask. But the question, some people will say, "What if they don't ask? What if they're a quiet child that never asks?" And just, I mean, I'm just trying to say that we can find loopholes. Okay, I even have one more that I just thought about. Let's look at Santa Claus. Yeah, for example,
Yeah.
Santa Claus gets into people's houses with chimneys, eats their cookie, and then maybe drops a
Yes.
gift. Is that not breaking an entry?
It
I'm
is
just.
breaking an entry. You can say that the cookies, they are supposed to leave the cookies out for Santa.
Yeah,
But yes, it comes
yeah.
down your chimney. The argument there, let me play devil's advocate. The argument there is Santa is coming. So if you really had a problem with Santa coming, you cement up your chimney or you place
Yeah,
something
but
there
is
that
that
when
is
it
that
tries to
is
drop
that
down,
what
it
is
can't
that
drop
what
down.
is that what you're supposed to be doing? Cementing your chimney. Is
No,
that
yeah.
not you? Is that not
No,
you?
no,
Is that not
it's
you
not.
locking yourself up and your life? I'm just saying.
Okay,
You know,
I get.
it's funny, but I'm just saying that we can. I can pull
Even
I can
Tooth
pull
Fairy,
these rabbits
something
out
coming
of I
under
can
your
put
pillow.
juju, then they
take
take
your
your
tooth.
teeth, give you
Yeah.
that's juju now.
Like,
Is that not they're carrying?
let's not even
let's-
go the juju
No,
route.
let me go for
Let's just
juju rap
say
for a second.
somebody
Let me
coming
just go
into
for
your
juju rap.
childhood.
No, let me go for juju rap for a second. Then we'll leave. I'm just saying. We see on social media and the rest all the juju that they talk about especially in Nigeria. They say, oh, they've taken this person's pants to go and get money. They are taking your teeth. Personal, not even pants you're wearing, teeth from your mouth to
Yeah.
give you money.
Yeah.
That's juju written all over it, complete.
But okay, so the idea is the tooth fairy comes to take it, even though it's supposed to be that your parent is the one that takes the tooth and drops it. But what it is teaching the child is there's a magical being. So because it is a magical being that's supposed to be good, obviously has nothing human about it, so there's no bad. It's just all good.
But
cookies and rainbows.
but that is what you say. That's I mean the child. Let's just say
Yeah,
a
that is
parent
what you say.
no, that's what but a parent that we say, okay, we're teaching the children magical being. I'm rolling my eyes, by the way. We're teaching the children magical being and saying all these things about okay, yeah. So the child believes that there's a magical being that takes my teeth, gives me money. Now that is a good my teeth for money makes sense. The child grows up, the parent never corrected them. They still believe there's a magical being or something like that. They now go and start looking for magical being juju guy to give something to collect money. We have taught the child how to.
No, but what child doesn't? What not your child? What parent wouldn't tell you when you're old enough? And that
Really, come on. There are a lot. Let's see. There are a lot of people that don't tell their children the truth. It happens all the time. I mean, they just expect children to figure it out themselves and know it's not true.
Well, children usually do figure
And
it out.
some,
the cat is let out of the bag.
maybe most usually do, but there are a few people that we can say, oh, maybe we can call them different things, but we can say there's 0.01% of the population in the world that go on a certain belief, and that's what it is. So I'm just saying that. Anyways, that was just a funny thing. But I'm just saying that if I carry my magnifying glass, I can keep pulling rabbits out of the hat completely. I can just keep pulling them and say,
absolutely,
yep, yep, cancel.
True. I mean, Disney cartoons have a lot of hidden
Come
jokes
on,
in there.
Disney cartoons. I mean, I just saw the other one the other day. Sleeping Beauty, this guy you don't know kisses you to wake you up. Did you give him consent?
Yes, absolutely not. But yeah, but
What?
the consent in quotes is that because when you were put to sleep, you are expecting someone to kiss you to wake you up, but it's still
Expecting
not
who?
okay.
What if the guy is not wasn't fine? Would you be accepting with that?
Even if it wasn't fine, you don't even know the person yet. The person just
You've
comes.
not
You
even know
don't know
whether the
what's going
person
to
has
happen.
herpes on their mouth. They have not given you.
Exactly.
No, you didn't give your consent
Exactly.
to. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yes. I mean, I sent you. Okay, somebody brought this to my attention. I sent you a clip. I don't think you may not have sent it. I haven't watched it, but you remember the Hercules? I don't know if you ever
Mm.
liked Hercules.
Yeah, I did.
Now this song, the song at the beginning where the muses are singing about heroes,
Mm-hmm.
and so one of them is like, oh, Hercules is a hunk, um, um, and then she says, I would love to play some music, and then she gets cut off by one of her other muses that
Mm-hmm.
says, anyway, what we're singing about is this guy, blah blah blah. So actually, the joke, and it makes total sense. The full thing may have been, as I would love to play some music on his microphone, and you know what that is supposed to mean.
As in, you know why I didn't watch it when you sent it? Because I've been seeing the video and I watched it, but I didn't pay attention to hear why the video was circulating. So I just thought and I said, oh, this is interesting. What's going then when you now said it now, it now makes complete total sense. And I'm like, okay, 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 okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
this
but
is
that's
this
it. That's it. An adult joke in there.
yeah,
And
but
it never
it
even occurred to me before.
that's what I'm
But
trying
when
to
he said,
say.
"I would love to play on your microphone," I'm like, "Oh, that actually makes sense." But I never
Yeah,
even thought about it.
innuendos are the amount of innuendos in
There are
cartoons.
rife, plenty. Yes, absolutely,
Mad ones,
absolutely.
mad ones, absolutely
Yeah.
intense. So you know what? I don't let me not dwell. I mean, we've said what we need to say on this, and I want to move to
Yes,
the
we have.
other part
Yeah,
of
sure.
this. I'm just saying
Oh,
how.
real
Okay,
quick, I'm
say.
so
Go
sorry
on, go
about
on, go
this.
on, go
I'm
on.
so sorry because we mentioned Space Jam. I also told you this about Lola and how they want to make her less like
Yeah, she was
vivacious
meant to be.
and make her more
Yes,
streamlined.
she
Though
was meant
you
to be
didn't quite
mentioned.
see,
I did no, I
yeah,
did.
you
I've
didn't
not.
quite see a major
I did see a
in
major
the image
change.
I sent you. I don't know if that's the
For
main major
me,
change they
for
want to
me,
do or not. But
Lola, why Lola was sexy, let me put it that way, because even as a younger person, probably would have seen it. Why Lola was sexy wasn't because, not that she did not, I won't say not because there was no cobs or whatever, but I don't think that was the focus. It was the way she spoke, it was the way she behaved, it
yes,
was the way she
her whole
walked.
aura
Her
was
whole
all
aura.
like
When she's
sassy. She
walking,
was supposed
she
to be
will catwalk
sassy.
the way that you
Yes,
don't
she will
know.
catwalk.
She will
She
collect the
was
ball and say,
confident.
"Hey, big boy," or
Yes,
something like that. I'm
yes.
just saying.
That was
Exactly.
done well.
So I'm just saying that Lola for me was never about how she
Yes,
was drawn, was rather how she acted. So
how she acted.
even
Yes,
if you streamline her, even if you
but
put
she still
plank
acts the same
and
way.
she
It
acts the
doesn't
same
change
way,
anything.
I think you're still
Yeah,
going with the whole sex appeal is still there. It's
it's
completely
still
there.
there.
You've not eradicated it.
True.
So
True.
you're giving, I mean, obviously, I understand them trying to give a small win to,
Yeah.
the people that would have complained, or if anybody had not even complained, maybe someone in the office had brought it up and say, we have to
Brought
think
it
about
up.
this
Now
and do
let's
this
tame
kind of
it.
thing. Let's tame it
Yeah.
before it
Yeah.
comes down. So back again, we're
Yeah.
back to the same thing. How
Mm,
I don't know
far
if there's a
or
balance,
good.
but how
Mm,
far, how much, what do we do? I feel like we should focus on the now and move forward and then try to keep educating because there's so many things we keep learning. So there's a lot of education
mm,
involved, a lot of using,
mm.
but how much are we using the eyes of a grown up to look at things, or are we using the eyes of a child? What does a child
True. And
see?
you said, but you also said from the now. So their own is Space Jam 2 is now. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
no,
they are.
definitely.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's why
Yeah.
it's fine with me. I'm just saying that also, what does it do they carry children when they do these polls, or when they come up with these things, do they carry a group of children and
To do it or
to
not,
do
to
these
see how
polls
they
and
think
ask
about
to
it.
see how they think about it, what they feel? Maybe children of
Very
certain
true.
ages that will watch it and say, How do you feel
True.
about this? Do they put the
Because kids
answers
are
there?
also growing
Because
up a lot
people,
faster by far.
exactly, the kids, do they put the answers there that the kids will now see, okay, let me feel this way? Because sometimes you tell the
Mhm.
child, did you feel this way? Did you feel this way? But because you've mentioned it,
You've mentioned it, now they feel this way or
now
that
they
way.
feel this way. They
Yes.
can now associate what you mentioned with that. But if you
With
just
it.
ask them
True.
without giving them the objective, let me say like question objectives A to B, and tell them to feel this way,
Yes. To feel.
they would
True.
now express themselves freely and tell you. So
Yeah.
what is it like? How do we determine these things? Because we need. I think in all I've said, an adult make the cartoon, but
True.
you're making it for a child.
And yes.
So I
And
feel
then
like a child should be more involved in the creation of some of these things and in trying to, trying to create, trying to understand some of these things because children see the whole world differently than we see it.
mm, very true. And what I was trying to say is, I know we're about to move to the next point. Is that, uh, and we won't dive into it so we don't get lost again. But I also wanted to mention that another thing that they were talking about was Speedy Gonzales because of how it depicts a typical Mexican character that's blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. So I don't know what
I don't know.
they
I
wanted to
don't
do
know.
about that.
We can
Yeah,
go in.
and
There are
then
many of them. There's the redneck guy
there are
that
many.
kills the
Yeah,
redneck
right.
guy.
For like a country hick.
That's
That's what
like
that
a
one
country.
kind of
That
says.
one is another one. There is the
It's
whole.
another one.
There is this guy. Mick. What's his name?
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, the Roadrunner. The
Roadrunner,
Roadrunner.
and then it's the guy that tries to kill the Roadrunner all the time. That's even him. I'm even more
Yes,
focused on what
Tasmanian Devil.
Tasman.
Tasmanian
No, it's
Devil.
not Tasmanian Devil. Is it a Tasmanian
Isn't
Devil?
it the Tasmanian Devil? It is now the one that chases the Roadrunner
No,
all the time.
Tasmanian
If I
Devil
catch
is
him.
the other one that spins. Is this other guy?
Oh, okay. Who is the
No,
one that chases
Tasmanian
the
Devil
Roadrunner?
spins. The guy that is like a fox or something like that. But it's like
I
he's
can't
that is
remember.
trying to eat the chicken or whatever. He's trying to
Okay.
catch the chicken. But anyways, there's some. I'm just trying to say like
There are
the
many,
list.
yes,
The list
and
is a
it's
non-stop
long.
list. It's a long list.
And because I mentioned earlier as well, I just want to bring it back. The Peter Pan and Dumbo. I'm guessing the Dumbo is obviously because it's an animal that is in a circus and they are forcing him to do all sorts of things. Maybe some kind of animal cruelty thing there, maybe. And for Peter Pan, because it's like working with pirates, there's a lot of using of daggers and knives
Oh,
and stuff. So that might be the negative parts of
you
those
can
ones
you
that
can,
they are
but
removing.
you can
And
already
that one is
start to.
for older kids, not younger kids,
But
isn't
I'm
it?
trying to say that we can start to see everything. Like it's like it's unfolding. Like everything is just
Unfolding.
unfolding. And again, it's not like I'm against the whole thing, but I'm trying to say who is truly understand, who is the one seeing it. We become
Mm-hmm.
adults and then we start seeing the world differently, and then we
I'm
now
telling you, this is the problem
use
with
that
kids
thing.
having to grow up quicker as
It's
well.
anyways. So let me just go into the next one. We won't even spend too much time on it
Yeah,
because we've ended up really spending time on this. As I said, we
on
pivoted
this,
completely
that's our
because of the
yeah our
last week.
initial thing.
Fun-
Yes, it
and
changed what we wanted to talk about.
it's
Yeah,
funny that the theme still remained the same because I wrote the topic
it was
name out
applicable.
already and it just
Mm-hmm.
applied completely. So basically, I think it was just a quick question for Jola. So I don't know. For me, I've always found it difficult because I get into different themes. I get into my anime theme. I get into my TV series theme. In order to like, I can't necessarily do both at the same time because it's always difficult for me because I have to cut out so many. So I always like focus on one at the time. Like now, for the last few months, I've been like seriously zoned into anime, and that's maybe because of this podcast as well. But that's also, well, I think it was before the podcast, but that's also helped me be able to discover new animes, which I'll mention one for you now. Discover new animes, find out new ones, check out new ones, and all those things, and that has killed my TV series side.
Oh
So
really?
if yeah, it really killed it, and that's why maybe till now I've not still been able to catch up with this Superman thing, and
Ah,
because I need to like get into the zone, and sometimes I can't pick all of them
wow.
because if I now start, I say okay, I want to watch Superman, but then I've not caught up with Family Guy, but then I've not caught up with Simpsons, then I've not caught up with Blackish. I've not been watching Blackish. I've not watched this one. I've not watched that one. The list goes on and on and on and on and on, and then I'm like, oh, I have Walking Dead. I have this. I
Mm,
have Blacklist. I mean, and then before you know it, I'm inside there, and then I'm no longer catching up with my
on
anime
anime.
again because I can't. It's like
You can't do
the
both
sites are
simultaneously.
different. The sites are different. So once you're in
Yeah,
the sites, you're inside that ecosystem, should I say? And so you're seeing the things there.
yeah,
But by the time you now leave to go to the other side, you start seeing all the other ones you want to watch, you enjoy watching, and then before you know it, the
yeah.
little time you have when you come back from work, you're like, oh, what's happening in the next episode of this? I need to go and watch it. Then you now jump to that one. Then you jump to that one. How do people in their life
Well,
find the balance between everything? It's always been
well, I
like,
think I well, I think this is obviously different people deal in different ways, but this that you're describing is definitely also specific to you and people who are like you. Because I don't have that struggle. I can I'm watching Superman and Flash and what have you on one hand, and I'm watching One Piece, or I'm watching, you know, Promise Neverland or whatever on the other hand. Like, it doesn't affect me. I
okay, so
just
which
have
one?
different things
So
that I'm
which one?
watching
No,
that
but
I
which,
know I have to watch.
now, which one? Because you can't tell me you've not. I feel you're more of the anime watcher right now. I feel that that's what you are. I might be wrong, but
You only
based on our
okay.
conversations,
Finish your whole.
I feel like you are
Mm-hmm.
more anime watcher at the moment. Now, what TV shows have you had to drop
You
from
feel
your roster in order to
okay.
accommodate
Now
more animes? Or what
let
animes
me
have you had to
explain.
drop from your roster in order to accommodate more TV shows? Because you can't be watching all
That's
of them.
okay. Now that's what I'm trying to tell you. I didn't drop anything. First of all, my list at the moment is probably not that long with TV shows because a lot of things, some of them I dropped along the way because I got tired of some of the things they were doing. And maybe later I'll just binge and catch up, maybe, or just read about them and know what happened. But on the things that I'm interested in watching, also a lot of them, TV show wise, were not showing for a while with COVID. Anime never really stopped. They never
True.
stopped. TV shows did. They took pauses. They are having pauses still. So it's just now that some of them are coming up more and more now, and I'm still watching them. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I've also seen Grace is back this week. I'm going to watch it. I'm not dropping it. I would never drop it. I'm a
Oh,
diehard
okay,
Grace fan. I will continue.
okay.
Superman, I'm on it week to week. Flash is back. I'm on it week to week. When Supergirl comes back, I will be on it week to week. The only thing I don't drop any for any. The only thing that can um happen is where okay, so you have this limited time. You
Mhm.
have you get back from work or whatever. You have this time to you sleep or to you want to do it or while you're eating to watch something. I think in my head which one is pulling at me more right now. Which one am I most curious about? Maybe based on last week or whatever is more appealing right now. I'll go. I'll watch that. Then I'll know. Okay, I'll watch this. And at the weekend, I have a bit more time to watch this. I'll now put the less prioritized ones during that time. Or in some weeks where I know I had less time for this, and it's in this week it wasn't that appealing. I may leave it to the next week and then watch the two together next week instead. So I just chuck it in there, but I don't drop one for maybe the rest of
So
that season till later to watch. I don't do
so
that,
you don't think
and I
that
still
you
throw
don't
video games in there somewhere
Yeah,
too.
exactly. That was
Mm-hmm.
even another part, but I didn't want to go into it now. So you don't think that maybe because animes, let's just say, I keep going, let me go to anime, not because you are more anime. I'll take that other statement back. But let's just say, animes are so different.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
very easy to get into them other than TV. I feel like it's easier to get in an anime than a TV show because of how diverse they can be. Like that's how I feel.
yeah.
Now, especially when you
Mm-hmm.
want to give them time. So let's just say you are you are able to you're able to get into and you're getting into animes. You don't feel like maybe if you've gotten into a lot of animes, especially maybe I'm recommending this one, but like you said, you don't watch plenty at the same time, which is good. But once you're getting into the
On the
anime,
TV show because a lot.
no, I mean like the anime itself, you don't even have a lot on your list. That's what you said. My
Oh, I
list is
do.
quite okay. No, what I
Oh,
mean
I
like
do.
that you're watching at once.
At once, I'm watching the ongoing ones that I'm interested in
Okay,
now.
let's just say
Yes,
like now,
I am.
maybe let me use Jujutsu Kaisen for
Plus, I
example.
have some
Wait,
that I'm
sorry.
binging as well.
Okay, let me use Jujutsu Kaisen for example. Let's just say
Okay.
15 Jujutsu Kaisens came out. I don't mean the same one. I mean like different animes that are as good as Jujutsu Kaisen, and you happen to be on all of, you happen to check out all of them, and you're like, wow, 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 I need to get it. Yep.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
think that that would affect your TV show, like in the sense that maybe you're watching a TV show that is a little bit slow at the moment, so you are like, I would, because of
That's
time, I would drop this one and let it catch up. I will drop this one. So you end up like dropping maybe like 3 or 4 TV shows because they are not really, and then maybe you might even put
they are
them
slow
in
moving.
they're either slow moving at that time, they're not giving you the excitement, or number two, you now just lump it up with that. And the TV show is being somehow at the moment. So I've decided I'll watch it much later. So you end up dropping. Don't you think
But
that
that's
happens?
why. Oh, it's 100% happens. But that's why I don't want to use the word drop because it doesn't
No,
get
no.
that far.
I
Wait, hold on. It
go on.
doesn't get that far dropped since you're using that word for me. That's why I said if one is slow at the moment and I have plenty more that I'm prioritizing to watch because they are more interesting, fine. That's why I said I would then leave that. Um, if I don't watch it this week, I know, oh, it's piled up to 2 weeks now. Oh, it's piled up to 3. I would know, okay, I need to start chucking that in so it doesn't pile up too much. So maybe at a point where I go, it could be that at a point where there's a public holiday or I go and leave, it's a perfect time to then cut down on how many
No,
of that
I know,
piled up into
and that
3 or
is,
something. But I don't drop it.
and this is
I
what I'm
don't.
saying.
I don't
And
ever
no,
drop
and
it
no,
for
no,
long at
no, no,
all.
no. This is what I'm trying to say. I mean, maybe me, I drop my own longer, but this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you get, and I feel like I get up ending sucked into one. Like my eyes kind of get, not that I still don't watch TV shows, but my eyes kind of get into the whole anime world. For me, I'm different, yes. But I'm trying to, like, my eyes get into the anime world or the TV show world that I'm like there. So I don't even want to discover new TV shows. So exactly. I'm
Oh,
not
so
even.
yours, your own, you get enveloped a bit more. You
Yes.
get pushed a
So
bit
I don't
more.
want.
Mine
I
is
don't
not
want to even.
like
I don't
that.
even want to even. So I might. Let's just say I'm dropping TV shows at the moment. So I end up not having it. You know, we all have discovery phases because every year new TV shows are developed. Some are cancelled. So it's like you would have to get into the whole zone to kind of say, okay, I'm going to watch this one. This is a detective issue. I want to check it out. This. So
Yeah,
you not put that in your list.
that happens. Yeah.
Now, but
Okay,
because
go on.
if I'm sometimes if I'm in the TV show world while I'm discovering new TV shows, I'm not really paying attention to the new animes that are coming out that I need to discover. So it's like
Ah, I
you're
see.
kind of dropping one world for another world. So like now I can say in the last 2 years, I've not really gone into the new like season 1 of a TV show coming out brand new. I'm still watching the old ones that I've already had that time when I was out of my anime zone per se. I was still watching animes, but I was out. But like I said, in the last few years, and especially the last 2 years, animes have been really pushing it. Like they've been doing good jobs with what they've been bringing out. So they've called me back, and now I'm not. I can't remember the last time I started a TV show season 1. I said,
From
"Oh, this
Are
one
you
is
sure?
new, brand new,
or maybe
recently." Recently,
maybe
not on Netflix.
I agree with
Not
you,
on
but the
Netflix.
reason I'm not
Netflix is
okay.
Netflix.
I wanted
No,
to say there are exceptions.
no.
Because you have
Netflix.
these ones that come out on Netflix.
Netflix
or
is
a
always an
CW superhero
No,
type
Netflix
that
is
will
always
come
an
out
exception.
and-
Obviously, Mandalorian was an exception. All those kind of things,
The
they were
Boys,
exception.
for
The
example.
Boys were exception. Those ones, they
okay.
posted it everywhere. You had to hear about them, and they were too much
Yes.
of your genre to say
Yes,
no
not
to.
to.
Exactly.
Yes.
But
Or the
there's
undoing or something.
a hair or like the undoing. But some of
okay.
them is like you can't, they like some people make too much noise about that. It has to enter. But like when I mean that's why I say discovery. You get into the whole I need to you know how we've discovered some animes that nobody's talking about and you're like, this is sick. You share it, everybody's watching and this is then all of a sudden maybe a couple months later the whole world is on what you're watching and they're like, oh, this is really sick. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like us watching what's the name of this anime? This one that we are just talking about. This girl.
Girl.
The girl that is helping her siblings come out
Promise
of this thing.
Neverland.
Promise Neverland, yeah. So I'm trying to say I'm not trying to say that's not a good one, but that would have been a discovery because it's one of those ones that I don't feel it got shouted about in my anime circles
Oh,
until
it
you.
did though.
No,
It
initially
did
for
for
me,
me.
for me,
My
it
problem
didn't.
was because I saw they were kids, and I was like,
No, that's what I'm
for
trying to say.
now.
Like, it wasn't for me, it didn't. But then you pointed out, and now everybody. But I'm trying to say, initially, it wouldn't have been if I put that in a TV show sense. Maybe not. Maybe Promised Land are not the best one. But I'm trying to say there are some that are like hidden gems that you don't
Hidden,
discover
yes, hidden
because
gems. Absolutely.
you're not in that zone of discovering the hidden gems.
Okay.
So it's like
Okay.
I need to give my hidden gem zone into like anime if I'm in the anime world or TV show. I can't be in a discovery phase for both because you have
For
what you're
both.
already
Okay.
watching. You have
Yes.
the ones you already have as your regular ones, like you mentioned, all the regular
Fair.
ones that you mentioned. So you have your regular
Fair.
animes, your regular TV shows that you can't help but watch them every week or when they come out.
Mm.
You have the ones that you've dropped. If you're dropping maybe some animes or maybe some TV shows you dropped, you said let them pile up, I'll watch it later. Then, but I feel you can only give your discovery. For me, I can only give my discovery to
On
one
one
side.
side. No, I
Because
can
how
agree
do
with you
you
on
add
this
to
one.
the list? Because if you on anime discovery, you have to add to your anime list. Then when do you now go into your TV show discovery to start adding to your TV show list? Your list will just be
Would just
it will
be
big.
everlasting. Oh yeah, okay, I agree with you on the discovery side, right? And because as you said, with aside from the exceptions to the TV shows we mentioned, those types, yeah. Aside from those ones, I'm not currently looking for which new show should I watch.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not really like that. But for anime, I'm like constantly like, interesting. Should I? Should I? Should I? Should I? Definitely. I get what you mean. So on that discovery side, definitely anime takes the cake for me on that
Exactly.
one. I'm not really interested in looking for like news shows like that right now. So I agree. That makes total sense. Yeah.
Anyways, let me just on my discovery of animes, I just binged 10 episodes of one. Um
Okay.
it's funny. You would enjoy it because it's funny. It's weird. I'll just tell you what it's about quickly. Just
What
here.
is it called?
It's called let me see, for example, it's called it's called I don't know the okay, no, let me just put it in the English name. It said a boy from the boonies, from the boons, is from the last dungeon and goes to the city life. That's how it is in English. It's very weird. But it's funny
Yeah, we
because
had this
okay.
conversation about weird titles.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
So basically what it is about is that a boy comes from a village and he goes to the city to join the army. Now the boy comes from I didn't you don't realize it at first, but they say it in the beginning, sharp, but it's not too late. The boy comes from a legendary village, like a village of heroes, basically, and they're not like normal they're human beings, but they're not really normal human beings. They're not meant to really associate with themselves with the like they don't solve, like they don't get into wars, all those things. They only come out when like there's a demon or like all these beasts that human beings cannot take care of, super huge, you understand? So the boy comes to the city. Now in the village, he's like the weakest person. So he has this psyche that he's weak. He thinks he's weak. But when it comes to the city, people are scared of him. And it is really, really
Okay.
shown. Like, and that's what you would laugh. I mean, Jola, you would enjoy this. You would laugh because like someone comes and everybody, you know how they make all these dead vibes and everybody's like, oh Jesus, what's this? What's going on? Who is this person? This person's going to
Yeah.
kill me. That's how people
Yeah.
feel about him. But the guy is like one of this most innocent boy that doesn't have an idea what's going on. And he's so oblivious, like he has no clue.
Right.
Like he doesn't even know he's strong. He thinks he's weak. So he thinks everybody even in the normal town is stronger than him. So even the way he always says, I don't want to have any problem. Like, okay, there's one thing, I'll just make an example. There's like something, he calls something a bug. People were like, oh, monsters are attacking the city, they are running. And they're like massive locusts, like massive. But this guy used a flick of his finger to kick it away. And he'll be like, oh, these are just bugs. These are bugs. Like he'll be like, oh, this way, I just killed some bugs on the way here. And then they will now see the bugs he's talking about. This is a monster. Then they realize that this guy is strong. So it's played on all the time. The only problem you might have with the anime is because you feel like you want more, but the whole thing is meant to be a comedy. So you'll be laughing a lot. So that's that.
Okay.
You feel like you want. I mean, when they fight too, but it's like
Yeah.
you will laughing a lot because the guy is like OP. In the beginning, I'll just
Okay.
say one thing to just end it, and I'll send you the anime on our chat. In the beginning,
Yeah.
the guy came to the city to stay with somebody, which is a lady like a witch, and she said, "Oh, you came from this place." He said, because she knows about the village. People don't even think the village doesn't exist. They think it's even just a legend. Do you understand? So she now said, "Oh, you
Yeah.
came from the village." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, he said, how long did it take?" He said, 4 hours. She now said, "Oh, yeah, if you use the
Okay.
train to come here, it'll be 4 hours, definitely, because you have to go through all these definitely things." And I know he said, "Oh, no, no." He said, she said, "What? So what did you use?" He said, "I ran here."
Really?
Yeah. So her face dropped, her eyeballs, everything just
Like,
dropped.
yeah, I can imagine the kind of expression when you say, "Oh
And
no,
then
I ran," and you're like, "Huh?"
And they
Anything.
said, he said, "Oh, I would have been here sooner, just that there were some bugs on the way." And she's like, "You mean monsters?" He said, "No, no, just bugs."
How random.
And they really draw the expressions, and the thing is so funny
Yeah.
because for, the good, even though it's female characters that surround him, all the female characters are made to be very,
So
very
harem.
funny. No, it's not really harem like
Yeah.
that. They are made to be very funny. Like they don't really stay on the what we discussed in the last episode. They don't stay on the fan service like that. But
Yes, yes, yes.
they make it so funny. So they do funny faces. Their body goes into this amoeba shape where they are making a joke. Like you would really
Right,
find it
right,
funny.
right,
Like
right.
it's like really, really funny. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Please drop me the name by all means. I will have a look at it for sure. For sure.
And so with this,
Okay.
I think we've come to the end of
Our writers.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
my rider was meant to be the rider I used 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. I've been holding it, so I said I have to. And this is a shout out to my friend because this was the first anime he watched, and when he watched it, he was like, what? He was like,
For real, you
"Uforo,
have to watch this.
no, why didn't you tell me about anime?" Because he knows I watch anime, and I'm like, "Oh, I've told you many times." He said, "No, no, no." He said, "I hate you. I'm not talking to you again." Because I never. He said, "This is the anime you that showed me." Like he's obsessed. So the name of the anime,
Yeah.
obviously, we all know, Hunter x Hunter. It for me was one of the best when it came out as well. At the time, it would have been up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Hisoka, even though he's like a bad good guy, he's an interesting character. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
I love Hisoka. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, my own rider is called Erased. I think most people know it. It was
yeah, I
very
enjoyed
popular when
Erased.
it came
Yeah,
out. So did I. And it's not your typical action. It's more of a mystery thriller kind of story with Erased. It's a really good one. It's a thinker as well. You just sort of you have to pick up on things. It's not so hidden, but you have to pick up on things going on in the story. Like you pay attention. It's a really good one. Really good.
yeah. It really
Erased.
is. It's really, really good. So check
And
out
it's short
Erased.
too. It's like
Yeah,
12 episodes and you are done. It's like the whole thing back to from the beginning to the end, all done.
yeah.
12 episodes, you are done. I even had my sister watch it as well. She enjoyed it. So yeah.
So yeah, check out Erased. Check out
Hunter
Erased. Check
x
out Hunter x
Hunter.
Hunter. Really, really good.
Hunter x Hunter has the first version they brought out years ago, and then they did like a remaster in like 2011 or so. So it's up to you guys which version you may want to check out for Hunter x Hunter. But yeah,
And
that's it.
there was one
Sorry, go
thing.
on.
There was one thing. Sorry, I wanted to just mention, and I said I'll just say it quickly. So I want to shout out to there was I wanted to make a shout out to Green Lion Liu. Yeah, he
Okay, yeah. Okay, what happened?
he put a comment on our YouTube page and he mentioned something that I like the engagement
On the
obviously.
YouTube
So,
video.
yeah, on the YouTube video.
Really,
So
I had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah,
I'll tell him. Go on. What
yeah.
did he
So
say?
just make a shout out. He said, "Oh, Warcraft." He meant because I think it was on our episode of finishing. So he said
Okay.
Warcraft was decent because we're talking about some of this live
Yeah.
action, and I agreed with him
Yeah.
100%. Warcraft was really decent.
Okay.
So that's one I didn't even think of. So shout out to Green Lion Leo for doing that.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice. I didn't know he did that. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
nice.
you're just making us know that you know him. I just thought it was a random
Yeah.
person. So
No. No.
thank-
No.
cool.
I'm not. I wasn't doing it on purpose. But I was just. Oh, come on, man. I
Yeah,
wasn't trying to
it's
say,
fine.
yeah, I
It's
know
fine.
that.
You're a celebrity. Don't worry.
I wasn't expecting
I'll
it.
get
I
Tom
didn't
Holland
know
on the
that.
next show. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, shout out to him, as you said.
Yeah, shout out to
Okay.
Green Lion Liu.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. It may have been a little more serious-ish than
It was serious.
but I think it was good.
Yeah, it's good. We needed to definitely
It was
discuss
a good
it.
one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay. Thank you guys for listening to us. As usual, like, subscribe, follow, comment.
Comment. I'll definitely shout you out if you comment. Bad or good. But be good,
Comment
please.
where?
But be
Anywhere or what?
Well, mostly on the most. I don't know. No, not maybe not the Instagram. The Instagram is not much of.
No,
It's
not
an
the
engagement. No, the Instagram is a lot.
It's an engagement, but
We will use no. We'll end up talking about it for a whole episode. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
dedicate an episode to some people. But anyways, that's a conversation for another day.
okay. But on the podcast platforms and YouTube or wherever, yeah, or what have you. So, but
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to us, and it's been good.
Yep.
For
Thank you guys. And
All right.
bye.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next episode.
See you. Bye.